Your stamp 1G is expiring soon, or either you have like 3 months left on your stamp 1G visa. You know where to do the application, you know a little bit about the process, but you don't know where to start. Don't worry. Today we're creating this video to talk about how to do the stamp 1G extension application process. It's a step-by-step guide. So I'm going to talk about the documents that are required, the application form, what to fill in everything, how to submit, everything that people have asked me in the last few months. Like, it's very easy, the application process and everything, but it's just the situations are different for different people. So there are people, let's say, who are working full-time, but their visa is expiring soon. They know the company would help them do the work permit, but there's obviously a gap. HR takes time. You need to make sure that you're not stranded at the end of the day, that you don't have work permit or 1G left. So it's always good to make sure that you have yourself covered on all bases, and it's always good to have that 1G extension. Like, if you're getting a 1G extension, why not take it? For me, hi guys, I'm Manavi. I moved to Ireland 7 years ago. Now, I've been in all kinds of situations. I've done all kinds of applications. For me, I was looking for a job for a while. And then once I landed one, my 1G was about to expire, really. Like, I only had like 3 months left. And I knew that it would take time to get all the documents in order. So I applied for my 1G extension on my own. Now, in the past 5 years, I've helped a lot of people. I've guided a lot of people who were applying for their 1G extension. Every situation is different. There's people who are still working part-time. They know that they would land a job. There are people who are working full-time, but they are trying to look for a new job, like the pay doesn't fall in the category or the title doesn't fall in the category. So they can't apply for a work permit. So it's always a different kind of situations with everyone. Let's get right into it. For the stamp 1G extension application, you need to make sure that you have a JAHS account. Now, the JAHS account is the same account you use to apply for your stamp 1 or your stamp 1G or your second stamp 1G. It's the online. I'm going to link it below in the bio as well. You need to make sure you have an account there. The application can be found under the title extension of student conditions. All you need to do is you need to begin the application there. There's basic details that you need to fill in, like your name, your passport details, your IRP details. There'll be certain questions on when you came to Ireland, when you, like your dates. So let's say you were a bachelor's student, so they'd ask you dates for all 3 years when you were doing your bachelor's, and then the first 1G that you got. For masters, it would be the same. It would be the first year you did your masters, and then followed by the 2 years that you were on your 1G. You need to make sure that you have all documents in order or all details in order before you start filling the form. You can go it like however you want to go about it, but it's much handier to have those details in advance. Now, you'll need the mandatory documents that they've advised for the application is your IRP card, your passport biometric page, your I think it's like landing stamp that you get. So it's the landing stamp that you get when you land into Ireland. So it's the stamp that you get at the immigration. So they need a picture of that, and they need your bank statements as address proof. So that's everything. That's what they've asked for. But in the recent times, a lot of people are getting refusals, and the refusals are they don't give you the exact details why they're refusing it, but it is around the fact that they say that, like you've not done a third level education and you need to apply for another master's or bachelor's to get the extension. To avoid these kind of situations, you need to make sure you're uploading all kinds of documents. It's always better to overcompensate than under. I don't know if you are someone who'd want to do that, but if it was me, I would upload all these documents. I would upload my IRP card, obviously, passport, all pages, because they need to make sure that, because sometimes you get confused between the landing page stamps. So it's always good to have those handy. You need to make sure you have let's say if you've done your master's, so upload your transcripts. If you've done your bachelor's, upload your transcripts. So it proves that you've done secondary level education in the country. You need to also upload your tax revenue documents. If you're working, I would recommend uploading your pay slips or your full-time contract. Even if you're working at a part-time job full-time, upload that contract. It proves that you're working. You're trying to pay your taxes. You're trying to build the economy. Do something rather than, just applying for jobs. Now, because it is a 1G extension application, I would highly recommend uploading certain screenshots of jobs that you've applied for. So it could be jobs, let's say screenshots from your LinkedIn or screenshots from Indeed or the emails that you've got. So it tries to prove that you've been trying hard, and the Department of Enterprise or Trade and Employment would sympathize with the situation. So you need to make sure you're covering all bases, plus you are putting yourself out there a little bit as well. One of the things that a lot of people have asked is, do I need an appeal or not? Now, it's not mentioned anywhere that you need to have an appeal, but I would recommend having an appeal. Goes a long way. It's something where you can talk about your story, you can talk about the circumstances that have led you to apply for this extension. So it's always handy to have that kind of 2-page document where you can put everything. You can talk about your education, the circumstances that has led you to apply to this, and your current situation as well. So if you're working full-time, add a few details about that. If you're working part-time, and then kind of request the department for a certain amount of extension. So it's just a little out there, kind of like it sets you different from what other extension applications would be. So it's kind of like a request, and you're putting yourself out there as well. Most of the time the refusals happen because the department, or this is an assumption, so most of the times what I've heard from people is that they didn't submit this document or that document because it was not on the list. So it's highly recommended you follow certain protocols, but also add things that you feel would help your file. I would add a detailed checklist in the caption below so that you can have a look at it, and these are advised. Now, this is not mandatory, so it's completely on you. Now, when you're applying for an extension, a lot of the time it feels that you've applied for the extension, you've gotten the extension for 1 year, but there are people who think that, can I apply for an extension again? So in the past 2 to 3 years, I've helped people get more time on their extension. So there's been a few people who got 6 more months or 1 more year. It completely depends on your circumstances, your profile, whatever your situation is. It's not 100% like you would get 6 months or you would get 1 year. It's how you put yourself out there. It's how the appeal would be, how we talk about the situation. So that's something that a lot of people have been talking about. But yes, it is possible to get another extension. There are people who've gotten it. So if that's something, or if you're in that situation, yes, you can try for another extension. I've tried to cover everything in terms of the application, the documents, and a little FAQs. Now, if there's anything at all that you'd like to discuss or you have doubts about, comment below, or you can reach out to me and I'd be happy to help.